Greetings as we return to the book of Ecclesiastes for the fourth of our five talks and attempts to understand something of this unusual book of the Bible, uh, sometimes seen as not really going anywhere, not clearly pointing us towards Jesus and the New Testament as the Old Testament is meant to do, and as the New Testament says that the Old Testament does. It seems almost like a dead end street that we go down with Ecclesiastes, but it isn't. And so much what one can read and hear about it that it's sub-Christian or somehow doesn't quite belong in Scripture. All these things have been said by so-called experts. Not so at all. We've done three studies looking at part or all of chapter 1, chapter 3, and chapter 7. Today we're going to look into chapter 9. I'm not meaning to suggest that the other chapters don't matter or aren't even equally important. The whole thing fits together and is one quite astonishing and important book. But the way I'm choosing to look at it for this series of talks is in this way, by picking out five uh, reasonable length passages and looking at them to get a more than a taster, I hope, of what Ecclesiastes is about and what through Ecclesiastes God is saying to us today. Ecclesiastes chapter 9, this is a slightly longer chunk than we've had for the last couple of sessions, but it seems to me to fit and to work. And so I'm going to read the whole of chapter 9 and then we'll look at it. All this I laid to heart, examining it all, how the righteous and the wise and their deeds are in the hand of God. Whether it is love or hate, one does not know. Everything that confronts them is vanity, since the same fate comes to all, to the righteous and the wicked, to the good and the evil, to the clean and the unclean, to those who sacrifice and to those who do not sacrifice. As are the good, so are the sinners. Those who swear are like those who shun an oath. This is an evil in all that happens under the sun, that the same fate comes to everyone. Moreover, the hearts of humans are full of evil. Madness is in their hearts while they live, and after that they go to the dead. But whoever is joined with all the living has hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. The living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no more reward, and even the memory of them is lost. Their love and their hate and their envy have already perished. Never again will they have any share in all that happens under the sun. Go, eat your bread with enjoyment, and drink your wine with a merry heart. For God has long ago approved what you do. Let your garments always be white, and do not let oil be lacking on your head. Enjoy life with the wife whom you love, for all the days of your vain life that are given you under the sun, because that is your portion in life, and in your toil at which you toil under the sun. Whatever your hand finds to do, do with your might, for there is no work or thought or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol, to which you are going. Again I saw that under the sun the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, nor bread to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent, nor favor to the skillful, but time and chance happen to them all. For no one can anticipate one's time. Like fish taken in a cruel net, or like birds caught in a snare, so mortals are snared at a time of calamity, when it suddenly falls upon them. I've also seen this example of wisdom under the sun, and it seemed great to me. There was a little city with few people in it. A great king came against it and besieged it, building great siege works against it. Now there was found in it a poor, wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no one remembered that poor man. So I said, wisdom is better than might. Yet the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heeded. The quiet words of the wise are more to be heeded than the shouting of a ruler among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one bungler destroys much good. Well, there's a lot there, isn't it? Life's not fair. That is very evident in this chapter. It may be evident in your experience and observation of life. Sometimes good people flourish, and sometimes they don't. And sometimes bad people get what they deserve in this life, and sometimes they don't, and they too flourish. Everyone comes to the same end, and in a sense, that is vanity. What's the point? What's the point? It's meaningless if everyone, however they live and behave, comes to the same end. Is there any point? It's vanity. What's more, he'll go stronger than that and say it's evil. It's just not right that this happens. Verse 3, this is an evil in all that happens under the sun, that the same fate comes to everyone. It doesn't seem, from our perspective, from the human perspective, which is where this comes from, it doesn't seem from the human perspective that that's just or right or proper. It seems evil. It seems a matter of vanity. It seems, what's the point? What is the point? Is there justice? Is there an overarching wisdom and purpose and plan? Do we get what we deserve? Well, a good New Testament or Old Testament perspective is never long for what you deserve, long for God's grace, clearly. But it still doesn't seem fair and equal and just that the evil can thrive and that the good can be cut down. All are in the hands of God. He never loses contact with that. He never loses his faith in God as Lord and sovereign. He never assumes that the injustices of life in some way work against God or defeat God's ultimate justice. Things look like vanity and they look like evil because it could be thought that God isn't on his throne, that there's no one in charge, that it's all just chaos. And if it's all just chaos, where are we? But he doesn't go there at all. He points to all the potential ingredients of chaos and says, no, God's on the throne. This I laid to heart, verse 1, examining it, how the righteous and the wise and their deeds are in the hand of God. That's whether it's love or hate, one does not know. We don't understand how this works, but his wisdom tells him that all this is in God's hands. This world that we can't understand, this world that seems unjust, that seems sometimes cruel, sometimes to reward evil and sometimes to punish goodness. It just doesn't seem a fair and right world. And yet, God is there It's all in God's hands. We don't understand that. That was a great conclusion in chapter 7, verse 14. All the stuff that happens, we don't understand what the future holds and what God's plan is. Same in the end of the passage from chapter 3 that we studied, and same in chapter 1. We don't know where it's going. We don't know what the future holds and looks like. In the New Testament, through Jesus, we have a clearer picture, but we still don't fully understand the detail. But we do know that God is there. God is on his throne. That's the wisdom in all this. Halfway through verse 3, the heart of humans are full of evil, madness while they live, and after that they go to the dead. There's a huge enigma here that life is difficult because there's there's evil and madness in the world, and we look at the news headlines whenever it is, and the news headlines I've been seeing the last couple of days. Uh, Madness and evil seem to dominate and predominate all too much in this world, and sometimes one thinks the dead might be better off than the living because they don't have to see the news every day, at the very least. But, verse 4, whoever's joined with the living has hope, for a living dog is better than a dead lion. Now, in his thinking and clearly in his understanding, a lion is better than a dog. It's bigger, it's stronger, it's powerful, it's the king of the beasts. You know, the lion is the thing, and the dog isn't. But a living dog, better than a dead lion. And even though life is unjust, life is unpredictable, we don't know where it's going, we don't know what tragedy might strike, it's still better to be part of life than not. Whoever's joined with all the living has hope. Didn't know if that word was going to pop up. It doesn't seem the most likely word in Ecclesiastes. It's one of the key words of the New Testament, and here it is. Whoever's living has hope. That's worth remembering. Also, those who are living can have a perspective on things. Verse 5, the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no reward, and even the memory of them is lost. Lost from this world, not lost from God at all. They have no more reward. While we're alive, we can hope, we can dream, we can work, we can enjoy life, we can think, and we can gain wisdom. Verse 7, go, eat your bread with enjoyment, drink your wine with a merry heart, for God has long ago approved what you do. God has approved that people live together in families and in community. God has approved that people have food and drink and enjoy these things. Let your garments always be white, let not oil be lacking on your head. Even though he said in verse 7 that the house of mourning is better than the house of mirth, in chapter 7, he's saying, let your garments be white. That is, don't go around looking as if you're mourning. Don't go around covered in sackcloth. Don't let yourself go to pieces. Let oil be on your head. He said in chapter 7, he suggested that ointment wasn't the best thing, but that a good name was far better. He's not going against that here, but he's saying, enjoy the things of life. Smarten up. Get dressed, clean yourself, oil your hair, whatever the custom is. Wear white. Show that you're part of life and that you're alive. Enjoy your food, enjoy your drink, enjoy life with your wife or your other half, as we would say, uh, your life partner. Enjoy life with the one whom you love for all the days of your vain life that are given you under the sun, because that's your portion in life. and in your toil at which you toil under the sun. This is where we are. This is what we can do. This is how we can find pleasure in life. We won't find great pleasure from wisdom and thought and patience and all the things that are important for us. They won't give us pleasure, but there is pleasure to be had. Don't knock it. Don't knock the immediate pleasures of the immediacy of life. Enjoy your food, enjoy your drink, enjoy your relationships. Get dressed up, enjoy your family life, enjoy your life with your life partner, and enjoy your work. Whatever work you have to do, put your heart and soul and mind into it and enjoy it. Enjoy it. Feel the usefulness of it. Feel the value of it. Whatever your hand finds to do, verse 10, do with all your might. There's no work or thought or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol to which you are going. Sheol is the place of the dead, the place where the dead await the resurrection, if they believe in the resurrection. There are hints here that they do. Sheol isn't hell or a place of suffering. It's just a place where there is no thought or life or anything. It's a place where the dead go and are dead. That's where you're going. So if there are opportunities to do things well and to enjoy, well, do them and enjoy them. Take pleasure in this life. Take pleasure in one another. Take pleasure in the good things of food and drink and clothes and smartness. Take pleasure in your work. Enjoy it because God has put you there and He's given you those things. And although in a certain way your life is vain, it is just a breath. You'll be here today and gone tomorrow, and same for all of us. Although you could say there's no point to it because we're here today and gone tomorrow. No, it can be good. Life can be good, so enjoy as you can what God gives you. Yes, it's vain. Yes, vain doesn't mean naughty, it means emptiness. It's same as vanity. Yes, it won't last. You can't guarantee or control the future. Enjoy the moment. Seize the day properly, appropriately, and so on. This isn't going against chapter 7, but I'm using it deliberately in parallel to last time's talk, chapter 7, which enjoins patience and thoughtfulness and longer term thinking. And this says, yes, but your life will be taken from you. You will go to Sheol, the place of the dead, where you'll know nothing. So enjoy life as far as you can while you're here. Verse 11, under the sun the race is not to the swift, the battle to the strong, the bread to the wise, nor riches to the intelligent. Time and chance happen to them all. That's, if you like, a big theme of Ecclesiastes. Enjoy life, but time and chance will happen. Don't know when it'll end, when it'll possibly go wrong. We just don't know. Enjoy as we can, but be aware that time and chance, as he puts it, ultimately will happen. No one can anticipate one's time. Mortals are snared at a time of calamity when it suddenly falls upon them. We don't know how long we've got. We don't know what the future holds. So enjoy what's here and now, in the knowledge that we don't know what the future holds, with the wisdom that looks for patience and for long-term understanding, still at the same time, enjoy life. I've seen this great example, verse 13. He doesn't tell us the whole story, which is intriguing. It would be nice to know. But it excited him. There was a little city with few people. A great king came against it and besieged it. There was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no one remembered this poor man. We don't know the story. It could be a bit of real history. It could be just a little picture that he has in his mind. Someone with wisdom who said the right thing to the king or to the army commander or something or whatever. We don't know. It could be someone insignificant and wise who somehow got a message out to the king who's besieging their small city, and that message makes the king stop in his tracks and turn around and go away. We don't know how it worked, but there was a little insignificant person who had wisdom, and his wisdom delivered the city, but he wasn't remembered because he was small and insignificant, and he wasn't the king or the prince or the general. He wasn't one of the people who might be expected possibly to deliver the city. He was nobody, so he wasn't remembered. Solomon the teacher's reflection: wisdom is better than might. The army, uh, the small army of the small city didn't win the battle, and the big army that was besieging them didn't win the battle. Wisdom won the battle. Wisdom is better than might. Yet this poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heeded. Wisdom is the key thing. Understanding is what really matters. But don't kid yourself, wisdom won't always be acknowledged or recognized. Understanding won't always be valued and cherished. If two politicians or presidents are shouting abuse at each other and someone very quietly says something very wise that might even change the situation, they're not going to get the credit. Someone else will claim credit one way or another. Things aren't just. Wisdom is still the thing to strive for. Wisdom is still the thing to honor. But in this world, in this life, time and chance will happen. Justice, wisdom, goodness, righteousness won't always be seen and be rewarded. A good name won't always be honored, yet we will strive for a good name. We will strive for wisdom and understanding and for justice and for goodness. But we don't kid ourselves they'll be rewarded. We strive for them because they're better. And we honor them because they're better, but we don't convince ourselves that they will always even win the day. And although sometimes pure strength and might and viciousness can win the day, yet we certainly don't honor those things. Time and chance seem to happen to all. God is still on his throne, and that, I suspect, is why a small, insignificant man's wisdom can sometimes defeat the mighty army. But in this world, in this life, that small, insignificant man's wisdom might not be honored. But we, with the wisdom of this book and the wisdom of the whole of God's word written for us, and the wisdom of our Lord Jesus and of people thinking about Jesus and his teaching over 2,000 years, that wisdom we hold on to and we seek to learn and apply more and more. We acknowledge that the world doesn't seem to operate by the rules of wisdom and justice and so on. We acknowledge that the world is broken or crooked, and yet still we see what's right and we hold on to what's right. We enjoy what's good while we can. We enjoy life while we can, knowing that it might not end up fairly. It might just end very suddenly. It might, after we've gone, we might be forgotten and lost from memory. Even good things or significant things we've done might be lost and forgotten. Okay, we're just going to live our lives as we can and enjoy them as we can and work hard as we can. And we're doing this for God and to honor God. And we know that the wisdom we can learn and accumulate while we enjoy life, the wisdom as we reflect and think upon things, will bring us closer to God, but it still won't enable us to understand the world or the future or God's plans, because they're God's plans, not ours. But all this will give us hope. While we live, there is hope, and we hope in God. And we hope in God, and of course, we hope in and through Jesus Christ. And hope is a very strong thing, it's not a weak thing. Hope is assurance, and hope is certainty of the reality to come. We hope that God has in store a better world, a new heaven and a new earth, where wisdom will be seen and honored, and where there will be enjoyment, but where there won't be evil and injustice and cruelty and brute strength winning the day. We hope for a better world. We hope for, in Ecclesiastes terms, we hope for a Messiah who will come and bring judgment on evil and blessing on God's faithful people. We hope, but we are in the reality. We're in a world where there is much we can enjoy. Enjoy it. We're in a world also where it's ultimately unpredictable because time and chance happen. Just accept that and acknowledge it. Don't look for a lasting reward, because when you're gone, you might well be forgotten. Look to honor God. Look to enjoy life. Look to do your work dutifully and nobly and to enjoy it as far as you can. Honor wisdom when you see it. Seek to gain it. But don't think that this world can be put right. 17. The quiet words of the wise are more to be heeded than the shouting of a ruler among fools. Yet we know which one will normally be heeded in this life, don't we? And verse 18, wisdom is better than weapons of war. But one bungler destroys much good. Yes, wisdom is better than weapons of war, but what do we see in our world more and more, and what is increasingly possible and likely in our world again? The world is full of the books of the wise. It's full of wisdom, but the weapons of war are still being readied and rolled out. Much good can be destroyed and lost very easily. It doesn't mean we don't hold on to the good. We don't understand the crookedness of this world, but we do know that it's God's world, and that with God we're ultimately secure. Till next time, bless you.